Hi, welcome to Bipolar Boxing Picks. This is Nick. We just got done watching Stephen Fulton versus Inoue. Inoue gets an eighth round knockout to take Stephen Fulton's titles away, and it was in spectacular fashion. Like, not only was the knockout spectacular, the performance was even better. So the knockout was pretty much, Fulton falling down in the corner as the ref, waving it off. It's just perfect, and that was after a knockdown. I did say in my prediction video, like if Inoue hurts him, like he's gonna finish him, which he did. But that was about the only thing I got right in that prediction. But why I picked Fulton to win, like I don't make many dumb decisions or dumb predictions, because usually I just side with the favorite most of the time, especially like over a 3-1 favorite. I rarely ever pick against them, but I've done it twice recently. Um, and it didn't work out too well for me. And it sucks. It sucks because I don't know what I was thinking with Fulton. I really don't. He tried to implement his game plan. His game plan was what I thought it would be, was boxing off the back foot. But establishing, as far as establishing your jab, he couldn't do it all night. There was something that Fulton felt in the first round. I saw his face when he went back to the corner in the first round, and he looked at his the way he looked at his cornerman or something like that. I just didn't like the look, and his body language was terrible. And he felt something in that first round, even though it was a technical first round or whatever. I don't know if he felt the power. I think it was the speed and the timing of Inoue. He must have popped him with a jab or something like that, and Fulton just said, like, man, we just traded jabs and he's winning the jab battle. That's the thing I thought I would have had. And it's going to be tough as shit to fight off your back foot all night without a jab. Or if the guy can beat you to the jab when he's coming forward. I mean, the guy can pretty much do whatever he wants. That's exactly what Inoue did. He literally did everything tonight. He got in and out when he wanted to. He could fight from the outside because I think round 4 or 5, Fulton realized like that this isn't working. So I'm gonna go on the front foot. He went on the front foot and he got outboxed by Inoue. He got pieced up by him on the outside, and then Inoue would decide to walk him down. And that's another thing. I just didn't see it happen. I thought like if Fulton wanted to step on the front foot, he would have some success coming forward if he wanted to, just because he's the bigger man. I had that in my mind, and I couldn't have been more wrong. He was the bigger man, but he didn't have any advantages in this fight whatsoever. Like Inoue was so much faster. His timing was so much better. The way he cut off the ring, it was almost like I was watching like Chocolatito in there. It's obviously a way different style, but how good he was at cutting off the ring reminded me of Chocolatito. That's what he used to do to guys. And and then finding the knockout at the end, like what else could you have asked for in this fight? He got hit with one clean punch, and that was in the like the sixth or seventh round, and then anyway finished him in the next round. And that round that he got hit clean, he still won that round. Fulton did what he could. Like he hit him clean, and then he tried to get on the front foot. Within 5 seconds, he was back on his back foot. And that's just the thing. You just knew watching that whole fight that this is boxing. Anything can happen, but anything couldn't have happened that night. There was no way in hell Stephen Fulton was winning that fight after the first round. I mean, after the first round, like we saw how the fight was going to go. It was just a matter if Stephen Fulton could survive. And credit to him, like he didn't run too much at the end of the fight. I think he did try opening up and swinging one, and I think he knew like if I open up, like I'm taking a big chance and I'm probably gonna get clipped because this guy is way too fast, and his timing is it's impeccable. Like the timing was just absolutely amazing. And they say like timing beats speed. Well, how good is it if you got both of them? But it was just an amazing performance by Inoue, and like I said, I would move him up the ladder on my pound for pound list. Like I'll just go ahead and move him right up to the top. I can't put anybody else above him after seeing that. It's just it really is like watching a he gets a lot of comparisons to Manny Pacquiao, and rightfully so. Like Pacquiao in his prime, this is what we watched. He did. There was a time in the what was it the fifth or sixth round where he threw a the announcer said it was a running four punch combination. And like, who does that remind you of? Manny Pacquiao. He used to run across the ring and just with his hands down. Like that's another thing. Inoue at times he just had his hands down by his hips. And when you see a fighter like that who's smaller, and in the fourth or fifth round he's got his hands down by his hips, that's because he's very confident and he knows that anything coming back isn't going to knock him out. And he was right. He just did whatever he wanted to. But when you see somebody like running after somebody throwing a four punch combination, they're pretty confident in what they're doing is working, and they're pretty confident they're not going to get knocked out. So and that was I just I mean my bet was gone very early in the fight, but I just hung around and watched to see if Inoue would get the knockout, and he did in spectacular fashion. And like if he would have got a decision, I probably still would have put him up there as number one, just because I mean Fulton didn't do anything better than Inoue in that fight, and Fulton's the best 122 pounder in the world. Well, he was before that, but I mean, where does Inoue go from here? Let me know in the comments where you think he goes from here. I have to think he's going to try and unify at 122 with that Marlon Tapos, the Filipino guy there. He should run through him pretty easy, and then go right up to 126. Maybe they were hinting at him and Robeisy Ramirez with having Robeisy Ramirez on the undercard, possibly matched down. I think that would be his toughest fight at 126 because I think Ramirez is the best 126 pounder out there. But I mean, you're not going to tell me. I don't care how big Ray Vargas is. He ain't beating Inoue. Lee Wood is not beating Inoue. I don't know who beats him. I really don't. And like all those matchups, even at 126, are terrible style matchups in my opinion. Other than Ramirez, he would have a chance, but like I'm not favoring any of those guys over Inoue, and I would put Inoue as like a 3 or 4 to 1 favorite against most of those guys. Like Lara would be a really fun fight at 126, but he's not. He doesn't even have a belt, so it probably won't happen. Like Inoue is just going to be belt hopping now. Like he's not going to fight anybody without a belt, and that's another thing that's going to make his legacy that much better. Is he's fighting all these world champions. Like he's not going to fight anybody without a belt probably for the rest of his career, unless he settles down in some weight class. But he might just sit there at 126 and try to collect all those belts. How fun would that be if he fights Taples and then he just absolutely runs through that whole division? I think he could at 126. And guys like Luis Alberto Lopez, how fun of a fight would that be between him and Inoue? That might be one of the funnest fights to make in all of boxing. Because everyone shits on Luis Alberto Lopez's style, but I've grown to like it. I used to hate it early, but I like it, and that would be a really fun matchup with him and Inoue. But I mean, other than that, nobody's beaten Inoue. I'll never bet against that guy the rest of his career, and I made a huge mistake here. I don't know what the hell I was thinking with this prediction. So my apologies for anybody that might have taken my, my advice on that pick. That was absolutely terrible. But like I said, let me know in the comments where you think Inoue goes from here and where you have him on your pound for pound list. And have a good night and get ready for Crawford Spence because it's coming this weekend.